Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the second lecture of spring series and this lecture will be all about problem solving using force analysis in the spring. In this lecture, the problems we solve will use the concept of previous lecture. So if you have not seen that, I suggest you watch that first. Now without further delay, let's get started. So our first problem of the day is what should be the minimum mass of A so that if it is released, the block of mass M, means this one, will lose contact with ground. Now, to solve this problem, let's see what will happen. Now, according to our question, this block has some mass, right? Now, if we release it, then this mass will tend to go downward because of its weight, mg force acts on this mass A and it will go down. Now, as it goes down, this spring gets elongated. So, if spring gets elongated, that means this point will tend to move upward. So, basically the spring will become like this and external force will be like this. In this case, the spring force developed will be something like this. The spring force Fs, it will be opposite to the displacement. So the spring force developed will be like this. Now this force, look at the lower side. Here the spring force is upward, right? That means here the spring force will act upward and it will try to drag the block upward as well. Now we have to find what should be the force. Now think, last lecture we have already read. Let's see the diagram first. See, this is something that we discussed last time, right? Now in this lecture we discussed that let's say this one's mass is m, and in this case if we release it from our natural length, so as we released it from natural length, here downward force mg started acting. Now this point was our mean position. So in mean position, mg was balanced by the spring force kx, but because of inertia, the mass did not stop here, right? When the mass stopped, the spring has extended by another x amount, which is again equals to mg by k. So this extension was mg by k, this extension was mg by k again. So the total extension was 2 mg by k. Now this was the extension, right? That means here the spring force developed was 2 mg, even if the external force was mg only. Now this was the discussion in the last lecture, but let's try to conclude something here. Now as we applied one external force which was a constant one, this mg was constant one here. So we applied a constant external force mg, and if we watch the spring, look at it, the maximum spring force developed was 2 mg. Now we can take it as a theory that if a constant force F is acted upon a spring, then the maximum spring force that can be developed can be 2F, right? Now let's come back to our problem. In our problem, this block mg, it has downward force mg, right? So to lift this block, upward force, minimum upward force mg is there. And who can apply this force on mg? This spring. This spring, if it is extended, then this spring will apply an upward spring force and this will try to lift mg, right? Now we need how much spring force? We need spring force equals our mg. But now just we read that spring force, maximum spring force developed can be 2F if external force applied is F, right? So let's say the other mass A has mass m dash. Now m dash means downward force will be m dash g on A, right? Now if there is a m dash g on A, then here downward force will be m dash g, which is a constant one. That means maximum spring force that can be developed, we can write it maximum spring force, Fs max, that is possible is 2 m dash g. Means 2 m dash g can be developed in this block even if our mass is m dash here. Now let's equate this one. So 2 m dash g can balance our mg, right? So m dash equals m by 2. This is our answer. So minimum mass of this block which can lift this m mass is m by 2. This is our answer for the problem. Now let's see another one. This is the second problem of the day. Here we have an arrangement and the question reads, natural length of the spring is L by 2. In the given arrangement, the length of the string is L if K, which is spring constant, is less than 2 mg by L. Find tension in the string. So in this question, there is a block. It is attached with a string and a spring, and the other end of both is connected with the wall support, right? So it is given the spring constant is K and its natural length is L by 2. Now if we see the problem, they have told that the natural length is L by 2. That means the spring's actual length should be somewhat like this. But in the arrangement, the string is L and it is fully extended. That means the spring, it must have elongated another distance L by 2. So here we can say there is an extension of L by 2 in the spring. Now if spring has extension, means the end point of the spring has gone downward here. So displacement will be downward because it got extended. That means spring force here, it must act upward, right? So if we draw the block and draw the diagram of forces, then let's see how the forces act. Here the spring force will act upward, Fs. Now due to string, tension will be along the string away from the body. So tension will be like this, and downward mg force will be there. Now at equilibrium, we can see T plus Fs will be equals to mg, right? That implies tension will be mg minus spring force. But what is the extension in the spring? It is L by 2, right? That implies mg minus spring force will be K into L by 2. Spring force is Kx and x means extension. Here extension is L by 2. So this is the value of tension. We got the answer. Now we will go to another one. This is our third problem of the day. The question reads, initially the system is in equilibrium. Find the acceleration of both the blocks just after the string is caught. Now in this problem, we have a spring and we have a string here. And they are asking us that if we cut this spring, then what will be the acceleration of lower block and upper block? Now let's give them some name. This is block A, this one is block B, right? And let's draw both the blocks and draw the forces on them. We will do the FBD. Now think, we raise the middle one. Now here on this block, downward force will be mg, and as the tension is balancing this, they are in equilibrium, right? So initially this tension T must be equal to mg. Now again on the other block, on the upper block, downward mg will be there, and due to tension T is also there. But just now we found T equal to mg. So this T is equal to mg. So upward spring force Fs, this will be balancing the T and mg both. So Fs will be 2 mg. So the system is, let's draw it again, and here the system is like this. On the upper block, upward 2 mg force is there. Downward there is a tension, there is a mg. On the lower block, upward tension T is there and downward mg is there. Now it is asking us that we will cut this string. Now due to the string, only tension force is present, right? So if we cut the string, then the tension vanishes here. So the tension, this one will vanish, means this mg will vanish, right? So because of this tension, T will vanish. Here also T will vanish. That means the mg will vanish. Now on the upper block, upward force remaining is 2 mg, downward force is mg. That means net force will be mg on this upper block and its mass is m. So acceleration will be mg by m, which is equals to g. So for the upper block, acceleration will be g upward. Now on the lower block, if we cancel the t because it vanishes, then again net force will be only downward mg and its mass is again m. So if we divide it, we get acceleration of the lower block is g downward. This is the answer for the third problem. Now let's go to the fourth one. Here, this will be little bit tough. Let's see how. The question reads, mass of each block is 3 kg each if coefficient of friction is 0.3 between the block and the ground. Then find the minimum contact force needed. Okay, here this is a mistake. This should be constant force. Minimum constant force needed. Minimum constant force needed to be applied to the block A so that the block B can move, right? Now see, if we apply the concept of the first problem, think in the first problem we said that if we have a spring and we apply a force F, constant force F to it, then the maximum spring force that can develop is 2F, right? The spring force will be 2F. Now let's analyze that concept in regard to the problem given. So here let's copy the diagram. Our external force here is F, right? So we are applying an external force F. Think here normal downward force will be mg. So normal will be again mg, and as the mass is 3 kg, so mg means 30 Newton. Taking g value as 10, we are taking g value as 10 here, 10 meter per second square. So we are getting 30 Newton. So normal is also 30 Newton. Then if this block tends to move towards right, then friction here will try to oppose it, right? So it will act leftwards. So here we will get leftward friction, which is mu into n, and they have given us mu is 0.3. So 0.3 into 30 means this is 9 Newton. We are getting friction 9 Newton. Now see, let's analyze what will happen in the system. If we apply some force on this mass, then this mass will move towards right. Okay. Now think, if there is no friction, then this mass will move towards right, or it will try to move towards right. Now as the mass shifted even a little bit, there will be some extension in the spring. Now this extension will try to pull this block towards left and to pull the block B towards right because of extension. Because as the displacements will be like this, so spring force will be inward. Spring force will be something like this. So spring force developed will be like this. Now this spring force will move this one, right? Now the thing is, here friction is there and it is 9 Newton. The limiting friction is 9 Newton. Now for spring force to get developed, this block must move. Without moving block A, we cannot define a spring force because spring will not displace it. There will be no extension in the spring. That means as the block A is bound to move, so here friction will be kinetic in nature. Kinetic friction, that means the friction value will be mu into n, which is 9 Newton. That means this 9 Newton is a must. Okay then. So what is the force that is acting on the spring? So the force that we need to apply is F, right? So if we apply force F, out of this F, 9 Newton is going to balance the friction here. So what is the remaining force? Remaining force will be F minus 9. Now this F minus 9 will try to extend the spring. Now let's see about this block. Here also, if this block will move, here also friction will be mu into n, and as both of them have same mass, so normal is same, so mu n here is also 9 Newton. That means the spring force needed at this point must be equals to 9 Newton. So if we need a 9 Newton spring force at this point, that means the spring force developed must be 9 Newton. Okay. So spring force developed is 9 Newton. Then think, to develop a spring force of, let's say, a value F, what is the minimum external force needed? Minimum external force needed is F by 2, right? If we look at the previous problem, the first problem, let's look at the first problem here. Here, as the external force was mg, the spring force developed was 2 mg here. See. So as long as the external force is constant, F, spring force can be developed 2F. Or if we think it otherwise, the spring force developed is F, then minimum external force needed can be F by 2, half of the spring force. That is the minimum external force which can move the spring, right? So if we move to the problem, here spring force needed is 9 Newton. So the external force which will try to extend the spring, the minimum value of that one can be half of 9 Newton, right? That means the external force which is F minus 9 here, this must be equals to 4.5 Newton, because we are finding the minimum possible value, minimum possible external force, and here the external force acting on the spring is F by 9. F is the total external force, but on the spring the external force that is acting is F minus 9, because the 9 part goes to the friction on the first block. So rest F minus 9 is acting on the spring, and this is trying to extend the spring so that block B can move. Now F minus 9 equals half of the spring force that we need to develop. Spring force we need is 9, so half of it is 4.5. That means F must be equals to 13.5 Newton. This is our answer to the problem.